Hello everyone, it's the Anime here, and today we're going to be going over Boruto chapter 58 spoilers. So yeah, with that, hit that shit. Alright, now the chapter name for this chapter is pretty long. It's The Right Tools for the Right Job, Idiots, Shears, and the Damn Bastards. Honestly, I have no clue what that title refers to, but hey, all I know is that this has some, it's going over, some training between, Team 7. So, yeah. Tien. The title, this is explaining the title name. The title is partially a reference to the half idiom that means the right tools for the right job, or more like even fools or blunt scissors can come in handy in their own way. But either into perception, it's about how to manipulate different things to get what you want because everything has its own purpose, even obscure, awful, or bastards. However, the last item on the list is tacked on to the original idiom. All of these words are written directly in the dialogue of the chapter, though they reference particular characters and happenings. So this title has a lot of dual meaning stuffed into it. You realize once you read through the entire chapter, translators will most likely vary on how to handle the localization of this hybrid proverb, such it won't go neatly. Okay, so basically the cover page is a group double spread left to right of Code, Amado, Ada, Karaki, Shikamaru, Naruto, Sasuke, Boruto, Shikadai, Chocho, Mitsuki, Injonin, Saga, and Samurai. So just a bunch of Leaf Ninja. Okay, it's a huge cover page, and I'm actually kind of excited to see it because that actually sounds kind of cool. Karaki and Boruto are deceptively larger and splitting the center. All the other characters are lined up behind them in the alleyway, basically explaining how, Boruto and Karaki are the main focus of the story, so obviously they're going to be front and center on the page. Splash text, keep going forth on the path that you believe in and clear the way. We've broken through our fifth anniversary. I think that's relating to, has Boruto been going on for 5 years now? Possibly. Let's see, 50 chapters. Yeah, I think it's been 5 years, honestly. So yeah, I think it's talking about how Boruto's been going on for 5 years there. But anyhow, you're not here for that. Let's get into the text. Scene 1, the Boba Pill saga continued. Side text. Boruto Shuki's transformation is progressing. A method to avoid the worst possible outcome has emerged. The chapter opens at the Uzumaki household and Naruto and Boruto sitting across from each other in the kitchen table. Boruto. So basically, this is discussing to Boruto the drugs that Amado offered to Naruto to give Boruto. Like, hey, this is going to suppress the Atsuki countdown, but can also kill you and blind you. So yeah, this is the conversation between Boruto and Naruto. Boruto, drugs that suppress the Atsuki transformation of Naruto. Yeah, that's right. Originally, it seems like it was something that was intended to be used for a different purpose, but we know if we can expect that sort of efficiency if things will go smoothly. Boruto, are you serious? If I take these, I won't turn into Momoshiki. Naruto, is this alright with you? This is the most pressing issue, to be honest. We won't know what the side effects will be. In the worst case scenario, you could die. That's why I won't force you to go through with this. I'm saying this is merely one of the options. You have to think this through for yourself about what you want to do and then make a decision. Boruto ... Boruto picks up one of the boba pills between his thumbs and index finger. He stares at it and then pops it straight into his mouth. Naruto is completely dumbfounded. Boruto starts to roll the boba pill around in his mouth while taking interiorly. His left cheek is bulging a bit, with his tongue pushing into his mouth. So basically, Boruto's like, "What? This could kill me," and just throws it in his mouth. Like, okay, let's see what happens, boys. He says, "YOLO, let's see what happens, eh?" Boruto, It doesn't taste like anything in particular either. It's fine, even without any water. How many pills do I need to take a day? And then meanwhile, Naruto is completely in panic. He jumps up from his seat and slams both of his hands on the table. The dishes and some of the pillows have been jostled into the air. And Naruto's like, what? What? You just taking this so casually? Like, you could die. Didn't I just tell you could die? Naruto, were you even listening to anything I said? Boruto seems a bit sweaty and nervous. No, I clearly heard what you said, Dad. Weren't you the one who said that I was the one to make a decision anyway? Don't yell at me like that, Alyssa. Naruto, still in bed, continued to speak with loud voice. Did you really think it through? How could you make such a hasty decision, Naruto? Boruto is yelling back and spit flying. So basically, it's just a huge on argument at this point. And basically end with Boruto saying, well, I'm fine for right now. I mean, in general, it might take some time. I settle in and resolve, but I've already prepared myself for the worst since a long time ago, especially when it comes to the karma. I had already made up my mind about my resolve. That's why I was so quick to make a decision about it. I'm the type of person who'd be prepared and determined about the resolve. That's all there was to my decision making. So sorry for making you worry about me, not to say Boruto. So basically, we are learning about Boruto's resolve here, which is something great. This is actually taking a tone for like Sasuke's resolve, which is honestly good because Boruto is trying to become a type of Sasuke, and honestly, he is taken after Sasuke's words that you have to be willing to die for the village in order to become the Shadow Hokage. You need to be willing to lay down your life, and that's what Boruto is doing here. He does not care about the side effects as long as it will protect the village, protect his family, and overall help him get ahead in his training. Just like if he can like implant the Karma code or whatever he has, it doesn't matter if he goes blind, dies, anything like that. As long as he has a better chance of survival, he's doing it, and to protect the village, which honestly just really shows his resolve. Scene 2, Kawaki versus Mitsuki plus Sadara. Now here's something interesting happens. We are actually taking a turn for Kawaki's training methods here. Nope, not Naruto's. No, we're fighting to the death now, which is interesting when you really look at it. So let's get into it. Kawaki asks Boruto why he's taking the drugs. Boruto replies that he knows that they're definitely risks, but he made his decision while fully understanding them. Mitsuki is speechless and Kawaki seems angry. Kawaki asks Boruto about whatever happened to their plan to etch code body with the karma. What's the point in taking this drug now before they battle? If Boruto dies, then everything will be lost in vain. Boruto shouts back at Kawaki's plan was just a hypothetical. Isn't that what Kawaki alleged anyways? There was no guarantee that it would work out, especially since they don't know how strong code will be either. In typical combat scenarios, they wouldn't be likely to win at any rate. Sada injects, saying that Boruto and Kawaki have been noisy and complaining for a while now. Shouldn't they just shut up and be here to train? So basically, we are kind of seeing actually a divide going between Boruto and Kawaki. Which honestly, I feel like this is going to get further and further away. And even though they might still be like good guys in the end, I feel like this may lead to like this difference in, what's it called? Oh, I have to sneeze. Anyways, sorry for that sneeze. Anyhow, the difference in like morals is going to be a essential divide that's going to lead them down the path that we see in the future of Kawaki versus Boruto. So here we are. Konohamaru and Naruto are observing for somewhere above them. Konohamaru thinks Kawaki's being problematic because he doesn't come off as being very cooperative at all. Kawaki says he'll just put it bluntly, it's not like they'll be worthy enough to be opponents anyway. They're no match for code. Boruto retorts that's why they're training to get stronger. Sadara yells at the two of them to stop messing around already. This is getting in the way of training to get stronger. Sadara yells at the two of them. He calls to get strong. Sorry, as at the tomb to stop messing around already. They're getting in the way of their own training time. Kawaki is fuming. He calls Sadara an asshole and then tells her to shut up, just sit there quietly instead of butting in. Sadara angrily replies that they're trying to do important training for chakra control. It's the most basic of basics, but Kawaki is acting hauntly despite being a newcomer at it. Kawaki, having the basics is good enough for you guys, but if we keep going at it like this? How many years would it take for us to beat code? 5 years, 10 years? Don't make me laugh. Basically, Quacky saying like, yeah, we need to speed this shit up. Like your way of training and doing it. Boruto yells back at Quacky, shouldn't be such an idiot about getting proper training. After all, Quacky's one of the ones who first got trained up in ninjutsu. Quacky retorts, that's not the point. It's about how many leeway they got time-wise. Mitsuki pipes up and says that he understands what Quacky is trying to say. Mitsuki then asks Quacky what he wants to do instead. Quacky says that it's simple. They'll even like this suggestion too. Quacky suddenly emerges his right arm and attacks Mitsuki. Mitsuki wraps his elongated arms around Quacky's arms as a counter. Boruto and Satoru set up and then step back. Quacky thinks that Mitsuki's tactics wasn't that bad and that he even met Quacky's expectations. Mitsuki says that Quacky's intentions were predictable. Quacky just wanted to do some actual combat training. Mitsuki doesn't mind engaging in it and says that he's fine with doing this type of training too. So basically, Quacky wants to do some combat training, but as we will see here in a second, this is no normal combat training. This is like an actual fight combat training. Like when we see Satoru and Quacky face up, they're actually going to be trying to kill each other. Like there's no doubt about it. Like hey, and we'll see like Komohamaru will try to step in too, and we'll see what happens there and all that. But we'll see in a second that Quacky's just like going for full brutal combat training here. Jigen style combat training. Sorry, replies. Okay, Boruto yours. Oh wait, hold on. Boruto set up. Let's step back. Komohamaru is about to jump in to defuse the situation from the observation deck. However, Naruto puts his arm in the way of Komohamaru's chest to block him from intervening. Satoru tells them again that they shouldn't be doing this their own way or such on a whim. Satoru, did you forget that I'm the leader of this team? Quacky ignores Satoru. Quacky continues on to say that he trained well under Jigen ever since he was a brat himself. Quacky explains that almost all of the training that Jigen had imposed on him was actual combat training that involved bleeding out the entire time, was living hell for him. Quacky reiterates that he would have been better off dead. However, that wasn't a possibility for him. I told myself that I was tired of seeing that damn bastard's face. I wanted the power to kill that guy with my own hands. Bearing that in mind wholeheartedly, I suddenly got stronger. So basically, like I said earlier, Quacky's realizing, we need to improve fast. And I improved pretty fast when I was just getting beat to death constantly. So let's do that, Let's go to the beat to death constantly route here. Quacky goes on to mention that the methods themselves were actually quite reasonable, though they made a lot of sense. Quacky then detaches the most part of his arm to Mitsuki's surprise. Quacky then regenerates his right arm to attack Mitsuki again. Mitsuki dodges Quacky's swipe. Satoru then yells back at Quacky, saying that he's being an idiot because his justification for sparring like this seems extreme. Quacky tells her to stop whining already. Did she think that a real enemy would wait for her to keep on talking like that? Quacky then aims his next swipes at Satoru, so she leaps into the air to dodge his attacks. Satoru then unleashes a huge fireball at him. The ninjutsu is unnamed here. Quacky then grows his arms into a wider shield to block it. Quacky emerges running from the smoke. She throws multiple shuriken at him. Two, they seem to have struck over his body. Boruto seems a bit frightened by it, but it does not seem like any attack that Satoru used to just mess around. So basically, they're fighting with the intention to kill, as I said earlier. As Quacky's body tumbles further away, it disappears. Quacky then reemerges right behind Satoru to strike again with his arms into his saber spear. Mitsuki points out that it was Quacky's Kajin Butsu. Boruto arrives in this just in time between the two of them, then blocks Quacky's blades arm back with the kunai. Boruto, cut it out, you asshole, what are you trying to do? Quacky says this is just sparring, it's not like someone will die from it. Boruto keeps saying to ask Quacky why he's so impatient with this training and taking things this far. Quacky, who's the impatient one? Satoru says that there's a little use in talking to him like this. They'll have to silence him with brute force. Boruto's, sorry Satoru, please don't interfere. I'm gonna handle this one-on-one. Sato wonders what has gone into Boruto 2. What is he intending to do to Kuraki Mishi? So the loser has to do the winner's bidding. Is that what you proposing? Boruto confirms the case. If Boruto loses, then they'll continue training with the methods Kuraki wants. Surely Kuraki wouldn't complain about his art arrangement. Kuraki agrees to his interest in development. Kamaru and Naruto are still watching everything unfold above, seemingly on the balcony still. That's scene 2. Scene 3, Kuraki versus Boruto. Everything simply goes here. Kuraki's subconsciously, I was trying to absorb it all. Have I been dependent on karma even more? So I thought. So basically, in the beginning of this match, Naruto, Boruto releases ninjutsu, and Kuraki tries to absorb it, but no longer can, putting Kuraki at a disadvantage because he's used to having karma. He's used to having the strength, and Boruto still got the karma. So hey, Boruto, this time I won. No complaints from you, right? So basically, Boruto wins because he launches a ninjutsu, and hey, Kuraki's just too used to like trying to absorb shit, so he just gets blasted and gets knocked down. And well, Kuraki loses. Sada comments that it seems that the match is over, and then she hopes that they'll restrain themselves a bit more now on instead of acting out seriously. Kuraki says, "Damn it, in a place like this too, what am I groveling here for?" Kuraki is still on his hands and knees, trying to get up off the ground. He glances at Konohamaru and Naruto staring at him. Kuraki, how pathetic for me to be in such a pitiful state. I want to be able to protect the Namadai at all. Boruto steps in to Kuraki's view. Boruto says, "There's at least one thing that's definitely different than from when I first met you. Now I can somehow understand you about the way you think. You burdened yourself alone with some things. You should rely on us more, alright? We're friends, you know." Misty, Sada, and Kuraki are speechless. Boruto says, "Since Konohamaru and Dad are getting targeted by Kara, you probably feel responsible for it, but it's not your fault at all. Either way, we can't leave those bad guys alone. There's because we're shinobi, because you're one too, right?" Naruto and Kama also made a few comments about the situation. Kuraki has shifted his pose on the ground now to be leaning on one side. He propped up his head to his right. Kuraki says, geez. Kuraki thinks that Boruto said a pretty cheeky line. Sato also comments that Kuraki's demeanor, despite him being the loser of the match, and Mitsuki notes that it seems Kuraki still has a pretty big attitude going on. Kuraki brushes him off though. He says that he'll be sticking around for a while longer with them regardless. That's the way of doing things, right? Boruto replies that it's the opposite case. They're the ones keeping him company instead. Naruto, keep doing your best and work hands. You guys, you'll get stronger. Boruto, alrighty then. We're going to resume trading. Let's start. Kuraki stares empathy at the palm and clenches it. Kuraki, I gotta get stronger no matter what the cost. So, honestly, I'm actually excited to see like the actual fight scenes in this, because honestly, like seeing Sada versus Kuraki and Boruto versus Kuraki, even though it's a short match with Boruto versus Kuraki, it's gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see this chapter coming out Thursday, I believe. So yeah, be prepared for a chapter review on Thursday. And with that, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, or not, you have free will. And yeah, it's the anime signing off.